All right, guys, what is up? My name is Colin Brandon. Welcome back to my channel. All I do here is talk sports, specifically college sports. And today we're talking about some college hoops, okay? If you haven't subscribed already, I'd appreciate if you go subscribe. Hey, feel free to subscribe at the end of this video. You know, if I brought you any value, I would love if you hit a thumbs up and subscribe then too. Today we are talking about my real thoughts about the top 10 teams in college basketball right now. So let's just get into it, okay? So top 10 is Gonzaga, Baylor, Iowa, Wisconsin, Illinois, Duke, Kansas, Michigan State, Creighton, Houston, okay? Now I'm going to go 10-1 on what I really think of them, okay? Houston. We'll start off with Houston, okay? This is a team that I was really high on at the beginning of the season, and I'm still very high on them. I think this team is going to go undefeated and probably be a 1 seed come March Madness. They have gotten their hardest game out of the way in the Texas Tech game, and they played really well in that game, got out to a pretty big lead. Texas Tech came roaring back. Houston was playing terrible. They were playing not to lose basketball, still managed to win the game even though they tried their hardest to lose. That is something that I've said about them, that they are good enough that even when they tried to lose, they still couldn't. So right now they're ranked 10th, and rightfully so. That's a pretty fair ranking. I'm not necessarily judging the rankings here, but I think that this team could be a 1 seed in March Madness. Their hardest games, their hardest game literally is probably going to be Alabama. And then we'll see Memphis. Memphis, I'm not sold on either. That's another story. Memphis is a story for another time because I got my own feelings about how I don't think Penny Hardaway is a good coach. It seems like Memphis basketball does not work on fundamentals at all. So Houston, I think, is a very real chance to go undefeated. Marcus Sasser absolutely balled out last game. I'm really excited about how Tremont Mark's been playing as well. DeJon Zero, Caleb Mills. This team is very good. And I did not even mention Quentin Grimes, who's probably, on paper, their best player. But I think, their best player is probably Caleb Mills. It's funny because he comes off the bench, but he could very well win American Player of the Year. Now let's go to the number 9 team in the land, and that is the Creighton Bluejays. Now, Creighton is a team that I like them. Like, personally, I like them. I love their style. I'm an Illini fan, but I love Iowa too, much for the same reasons. Are because they like to score and don't like to play a whole lot of defense. And if you know anything about me, I really enjoy scoring too, but defense is not my jam. So I think 9 seems a little bit high. We're gonna see though on the 8th. So what's that? Next Wednesday? Yeah. No, not next Wednesday. Sometime next week, December 8th. Don't know the day off the top of my head. They will play Kansas, and we will get a better picture of where they are after that game. I'm not sure that 9 is kind of an accurate depiction of where they are based on how poorly they play defense. While I say I don't value defense a whole bunch, I do value it. I'm just more an offensive-minded guy, but the defense is going to be what makes or breaks this team, and what keeps them in games if shots aren't falling. And I'm not sold on that by any means. So 9 might be a little high. Let's go to the number 8 team in the land, and that is the Michigan State Spartans. And I think the Michigan State Spartans are definitely a top 10 team. Could potentially be even higher, okay? They went to Cameron Indoor. They won. Yet, without fans, Cameron Indoor is a different place, okay? But Duke is always going to be one of the best coached teams in the country. Michigan State has beat Duke. They beat Notre Dame. They've had a couple of tough games. They beat Notre Dame only by 10, but that game it felt like both games I would say it felt like Michigan State was up by about 30. The score did not reflect how out of reach the game seemed, and they beat Duke by less than 6 points. They beat them by 6 points. That game Duke. It didn't seem like Duke had a chance in the second half. It really didn't. Michigan State, classic Tom Izzo, some manufactured adversity. They got down. They got down about 8 to 10 points early, and then they came roaring back. This team's really good. Michigan State is very good. I don't think Duke necessarily played well, but Duke is also younger than what Michigan State is. But Michigan State, they are a complete team. While they're not loaded with guys that are going to be top NBA talent one day, or so I don't think. I mean, maybe Rocket Watts or Aaron Henry is. They got a lot of ballers. They got guys that can come in and give you good minutes, like Foster Loyer. That dude's probably not going to be on an NBA roster for a long career. And if he is, that's awesome. I'm rooting for him. But he can come in and give you some solid minutes, give you some time, he give you some consistency at the point guard position, and then they have that top to bottom. They have some long athletic bigs. They're a pretty complete ball club. This could probably be a top 5 team moving forward. But that Duke game I think showed us a lot about both teams really. So then now at 7 we got Kansas. Now is Kansas the number 7 team in the nation? I'm not sure yet. They beat Kentucky, but jury's still out on how good Kentucky is for reals. They played, Gonzaga only beat them by 12. I say only beat them by 12. I think Gonzaga is by far the best team in the nation. I really do. And Kansas played them well. They were scoring right there with them. I have a really hard time understanding how good Kansas is, and we're going to get a better feel for that too once they play, like that Creighton game. We're going to see if Kansas can lock down on defense and not turn that into another. I could see that one going the way the Gonzaga game went because of the way that Creighton can score. But if Kansas locks down on defense, they're gonna show their real colors, I think, and probably win that ball game. If not, I'm not sure that they can survive another just absolute scoring battle. But top 10 right now for Kansas seems a little high for me, to be honest. We're gonna go to Duke. Duke, I think, is going to be a top 10 team towards the end of the season. They might fall out of the top 10 as of next Monday night, Sunday, whenever the rankings come out. Just because of that loss to Michigan State. But it was not a bad loss. They probably actually won't fall in the top 10 because Michigan State's ranked in the top 10. Duke's a good team, okay? If Jalen Johnson, I think he was in foul trouble early, and that really derailed him. He started off the game really well. I think Matthew Hurt is going to end up having a big year, but they're still figuring things out on offense. DJ Stewart also seems like a great player. They got some vets, Joey Baker, Jordan Goldwire. This team, I think that they're going to be really good. I do. But it's hard to tell as of right now how good they actually are. So top 10, I think number 10 would be fitting for this team. But it still seems a little high based on their play. But I think their potential, they have potential to be a top 5 team once all the pieces, get together and start clicking. Then we get to number 5. That is my favorite team in college basketball. I've been a diehard Illini fan all my life. So Illinois, okay, and this is going to be unbiased. They're what 3-1 now with that loss to Baylor last night. That Ohio game was really close, but I think they showed us some things in that game, some late game closing ability. We saw that a lot of them last year too. This team's good. Io, I think, is a very good college point guard, and he's got some pro potential. Kofi is an absolute monster of a man. They got some good freshmen in Curbelo and Adam Miller as well. This team is good, but they, that Baylor game kind of exposed them a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Baylor played phenomenal defense. I'm not sure if Illinois' offense, were they running like the dribble handoffs, the weave for the first 10 seconds of the shot clock at the on the top of the arc. I'm not sure if that's going to work against better defensive teams like Baylor, because then you're stuck in a late shot clock situation and you haven't even penetrated the defense at all and created anything. But Baylor is a very good basketball team, and Illinois played them decently close. I think they end up losing by about 10, 12-ish range. I could be wrong on that. I'm going to check for you guys to be sure. They lost by, let's see, 82 to 69. So what is that? 13? 13, yeah. So, it was a close game for how out of reach it felt down the stretch. Baylor's hitting shots, man. Illinois, if Illinois can hit some threes this year, they will be a top 10 team. Right now, I still think they're definitely a top 10 team because losing to Baylor is not a bad loss by any means. So yeah, top 10 is fine for Illinois. 5 might be a little high, to be honest, right now. But I think that they have some serious potential to be that high down the road. Then let's go with Wisconsin. Wisconsin is a team. They are veteran. They are savvy. They play phenomenal defense. Reavers, Potter, Buzzcut Brad. They got some good pieces. I think this team is going to come down to ability to score from the 3-point line. It really is. I think that they're going to defend at an elite level. You know what? Their coaching is pretty elite as well. They're going to be in every game. They really are. But if other teams' shots are falling and Wisconsin goes cold, it is going to be hard for them to come back from that. So I think top 5 is accurate for them right now. I'm interested to see how they play Marquette. I think that's going to be our first real glimpse into how good Wisconsin is. Initially, 4 does seem high right now. I'm not going to lie, 4 seems high. But Wisconsin is a very good basketball team. They proved that last year. They proved it time and time again. Greg Gard seems to be a great coach. And I think that it's probably an accurate representation of where they're at, the number 4 ranking. Number 3, Iowa. Man, Iowa is fun to watch. I'm not going to lie. As an Illini fan, it hurts to say, but Iowa is really fun to watch. The rate they score, 2-0. They've put up just about 100 points each time, 103 and then 97 their first game. This team is good. Luka Garza is a legit monster, one of the best in college basketball. But what is going to hurt Iowa and why I don't think they deserve the number 3 ranking, especially after only beating North Carolina Central and Southern, is their defense. Okay, their defense I think is super suspect. They run a really high-powered offense, and a lot of that is getting the ball off the rim and going in transition. And trying to run in transition so fast means that the other teams are probably getting a lot of second-chance points. Now, these teams that they're playing, are nowhere near as talented as other Big Ten schools, so they can get away with that. But I am super interested to see what that's going to look like, come Big Ten play, when there are, Division or not Division I, Power 5 athletes playing against you on every play. So Iowa might be a little high for me. I think that they have a ceiling because of their defense, but who knows? They can come out and just play phenomenal defense and run the Big Ten. That's very possible as well. I just don't see it happening with a Fran McCaffrey coached defense. So Iowa, yeah, they're a little high. Top 10 team right now. I don't know if they're a top 3 team. All right, then we're going to go number 2 team in the land, Baylor. I think Baylor is deep. They have some big-time shot makers. They have really savvy guards, some phenomenal defense. They're some athletic bigs. Mark Vital's a do-it-all big. Like, they are a complete ball club. Coach Drew does a great job down there in Waco. And this team is a team that could win the March Madness tournament for sure. Top 2 team, I would say definitely right now. I'm very impressed with how Baylor's played. They absolutely blew the brakes off of Washington, and then they only beat them by 24, but they beat Illinois by 13, and that's a pretty good win in my eyes because I think Illinois is a very good ball club as well. Baylor's good. Macy O'Teague, Jared Butler. Jonathan Tachua, I don't know how to say his last name, so I call him JTT. The UNLV transfer, that dude is athletic. He's going to be a great replacement for Gillespie. Matthew Mayer. This team is solid, guys. Baylor is a scary team, and I think that they're probably going to win the Big 12, especially if West Virginia is not scoring at a decent clip. I think West Virginia can give them a run for their money. I think that those are probably the 2 best teams in the Big 12, West Virginia and Baylor. Maybe Texas Tech, but it's looking like West Virginia and Baylor. Anyways, now the number 1 team in the land, Gonzaga. This team is, I think, easily the best team in college basketball. They did show a little bit, like that they were actual mortals against West Virginia. West Virginia, their defense gave them fits. It really did. When Suggs went down, I thought, whoa, this is actually going to be a close game. Thankfully, Suggs came back in. And was able to play, and you can see the impact that he made right away. But this team is deep. Andrew Nembhard, the Florida transfer, is a stud. Like, I liked him at Florida, and he transfers to Gonzaga, and he's just balling. Corey Kispert, one of the best in college basketball. Drew Timme, also one of the best in college basketball. Jalen Suggs, also one of the best in college basketball. Like where is this team weak? Joel Ayayi, a guy that oftentimes doesn't get mentioned, probably the most underrated player in college basketball. He could give you 30 points. And he's like, the 4th option on that team? This Gonzaga team is really good, guys. They are deep. They are super talented everywhere on the floor. And I honestly, I like them to win the tournament. Easy to say because of the one team in the nation right now. This team's probably going to go undefeated and probably be the 1 overall seed, I could say. We're going to see a really interesting game, though, on Saturday, 12 o'clock Central against Baylor. That is going to be an awesome game, 1 versus 2 early in the season. Nothing gets better than that. So this is where I'm at right now. Kind of, saying what I really think about the top 10. The teams I'm really high on right now are Houston, high on Michigan State, still high on Duke a little bit. As I mentioned, I think that they're going to finish towards the top 10, top 5. Didn't play like it. Also high, on Gonzaga as well and Baylor. Like those are some legit teams there in the top 10. A couple others I think could be, maybe not top 10, but also not frauds are Wisconsin, Illinois, and I think Creighton as well. We got a lot of good teams this year in college basketball, and it is going to be fun to see how it all plays out. So stay tuned. Please hit that like button if you guys found any enjoyment out of watching this. Also, please drop in the comments what you want me to talk about. I'm more than happy to talk to you guys about suggestions. Over on my TikTok page, I pretty much only take suggestions and make videos off of that, and it's been pretty successful so far. The people love it. So any suggestions, I'm more than willing to listen to in the comments. Please subscribe, turn on your alerts, and let's keep talking college sports because it's been a lot of fun.